Hello. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for y'all watching. I did create a TikTok, and so figuring out how to use that and get my people up, because I guess that I just found out you have to have a certain amount of followers to go live on that platform. So I know, but I'm gonna still use this platform to finish off my story. You know what I'm saying? I think I got like maybe one or two, three more videos. I don't know. But just use this platform to finish telling my story. And then, shit, I don't know. I might not even care about TikTok because I like this. It helps me feel better and not feel like alone or like I'm the only person that goes through this type of stuff. Mental health, physical health, disability, anything like that. I wanted to do it yesterday, of course, but they got away from me. And I had to go ahead and get my fresh hair done because I decided to start this when my hair was looking crazy. And so, but yeah, thank you for joining me again. Thank you for watching again. Picking up where we left off. I know we was in like 2018 with a lot of seizures and a lot of depression. I know that there was a lot of times that I put my family through a lot of stuff that I still feel bad for today, and I put a lot of my friends through a lot of stuff that I feel bad for today, and it's still to this day. And I'm still trying to rebuild their trust and rebuild that relationship, just because when you're in that state, you don't realize that's where you're at, and so it shows and displays itself in many different ways. So mine displayed itself kind of disrespectfully. But yeah, 2018, I fell into that deep depression. I went through just emotions of day to day, very rarely getting out the bed, very rarely seeing daylight. I mean, I've always been like a super clean person, so like showering was never like something I didn't want to do. Showering is actually one of the things that like recalmed me, recentered me, that water flow. And so just kind of neutralized my energy. So I would take a lot of showers, but outside of that, I'm just showering, going back to sleep, showering, doing my 1-2, and laying back down. Like, I ain't really trying to talk to nobody. I don't want nobody talking to me. But and I ain't gonna make sure, this live probably not gonna be that long, just because there's been a real lot of family stuff going on, and I'm trying to get back to it. But yeah, 2019, I had my convulsion in 2019, and I start back working, and 2020 I went through like a huge family massacre. Like, it was just a freaking mess. And so 2020 I went through a mess with my family. To God be the glory, that was my last convulsion that I know of, 2019. So the stress did not lead to another seizure, but it did cause a lot of that mental part to kind of regress. And so with that, yeah, I got through 2020, and it was like, I don't want to make it seem like it was just that easy to get through it, just because like being in that state and not feeling mentally well and not having the support, just because like I'm one of the older kids, especially on my dad's side. I'm one of the older kids, and so we just mostly got like aunties and uncles and stuff, and folks ain't really mindful of mental health. One of my family members actually told me they don't even understand mental health and mental disorders and stuff like that, and depression, and so they weren't willing to hear me out or even hear my story, my life, and what my experience. It was just a lot of kind of, during that time, a lot of people downplayed my experience, and it felt terrible. It felt terrible with the idea that you don't feel like anybody can relate to you, and so that's crappy. But in I think it was 21, I had like a real bad breakdown in the beginning of the year, and like it ties into kind of like two things that my therapist had talked about. One that just like, not a therapist, a doctor. The doctor talks about was that like I've had some pretty tumultuous events happen each decade, and that plays a role in my mental health. And so me having epilepsy to start in my 20s, it really hit me hard in my 20s, and then a stroke in my 30s. It's like, yeah, they remind me every day that I shouldn't be alive. And so I thank God daily. I beat the odds every day because I am alive, and that's why I want to do this and tell my story, because I've been kind of multiple times, like it's been almost like every couple of years something happened. The doctor's like, yeah, you weren't supposed to survive that. It's like, damn, well, won't he will. And so with that, yeah, 2021, maybe like January, February, I kind of just like was like crashing out low key, and I had called one of my friends, and I had found peace and solitude within them, but they were in Kentucky. My therapist didn't like that because I had to go out of state and out of town to find peace and that space to breathe, and felt like I had some, room to breathe. And so, yeah, I went to Kentucky one weekend, got reset, refueled, felt really energized, but it gave me a different perspective as well. And so a lot of people were just like, I'm not really a fan of you. Like, and that's just how it turned out. But yeah, my homegirls, they helped me a lot, and that's why I'm super, super grateful. God is good. Y'all, if it start raining out here, I'm definitely going to end this. Because I felt a little raindrop. But, yeah. So, just try to jump through it. I don't want to skip too far, but I don't want to move. I don't want to be stuck out here in the rain, especially if I just got my hair done. But, yeah, they helped me get through that during that time. And, like, it was a snowstorm. Like, that drive was terrible. Like, the GPS, for one reason or another, I'm not sure if it was because of the roads were so bad, but they took me on some back roads to get to Kentucky from Cincinnati, and it was just like, why am I even on these back roads? Why would I even take this route? I drove back and forth to Kentucky hundreds of times. So why am I even doing this? And so, but yeah, I just still rocked out, made the trip, hung with them, vented, played games, drank, talked, and like I said, felt rejuvenated after it. And it was something that kind of sort of clicked. After that, like I said, I started making kind of intentional decisions about who I wanted to be in my space, just because it's like a caring thing, like an understanding, and like, okay, if you don't care to understand, then I don't care to explain that shit to you. So, yeah, I rocked out like that, and then a couple, like maybe a month or two later, so yeah, that's like January, February, so maybe March or April, I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm celebrating me. Like, I'm alive. I could be happy. I could find happiness. Like, I just need to celebrate life, because I was attempting suicide so many times that I wasn't really sure, or I had the suicidal ideation so many times, I wasn't really sure where I was going to end up or how long I had to live. And so it was more or less just genuinely like, yeah, I got to figure out how to be happy and be myself and celebrate me. And so that birthday, that year, 2021, I booked a plane. I don't know how to book trips. I know how to book trips, but I don't really care to travel. I'm frugal. I'm like, shit, give me my money. I'm going to save my money. That money I would have spent on traveling and kicking it, eating out of town, I could say that I could pay some bills. So I ain't really on that. Traveled to Alabama, but I did celebrate my birthday that year. Celebrated me. Um, Private Party by India.Arie became like a super big song for me. It really like just kind of made me look within. So like that was just like my whole vibe. Like I was about to cancel a few times because I had a couple hiccups through the process of scheduling the trip and getting the details in order and finding an itinerary that I wanted to go with and what I wanted to do during the trip. But I mean, I rode horses in the ocean. Like we rode horses that took us out to the ocean. I swam in the Atlantic Ocean. Like it was genuinely my first time doing some stuff like I wanted to do, and it felt good. It felt good, and it felt new. It felt good. It felt like something that I wanted to hold on to, and it was a peace of mind. And so at that point, I'm not experiencing convulsions, and I'm on my medicine, maintaining, and God is just guiding me as far as my employment and my career path. But my personal life, it was more of a happiness being settled in around May 2021. And so I literally held on to that as tight as I could. And I talked about it as much as I could, just because I honestly, like I said, I didn't know where that was going. I didn't know how long it was going to last. I didn't know what decisions I was going to end up making. I didn't know that I'll still be here today. Like, I just didn't know. And so with all that, it's just like, I want to hold on to this piece. And I held on to it, and for a long time, like I didn't have any medical issues. I didn't have any medical hiccups. I mean, outside of my career, it was like, everything else was cool. I was happy. I was finding a sense of peace, finding my own routine to get me through from day to day. And I think it worked for me. And I just genuinely think it worked for me. And it showed me that I had the ability to be in control of this. And it's a mental thing, but it's also mind over matter. And if I could figure out what it matters, none of this shit, I won't mind. I won't mind none of this. And so, yeah. But so 2021, I carried that from May to December, and I held on to it. I had my downs. I still have ups and downs, so I have my downs. But they begin to become less extreme. And when I say less extreme, I mean like from suicide attempts to suicide ideation, from the ideation of it to like not even thinking about it at all, and thinking about solutions or resolutions to my issue and what's really the root of my problem and what emotions I'm actually feeling. So really dissecting me and what I'm feeling and thinking, and not just going from 0 to 1,000 and just like fuck it all. So yeah, that helped me. That helped me get through and hold on to 2022, 21. I think I started. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, I found that piece of happiness, and it was also praying for a new job at that time in May 21. So I had booked the trip, did the trip, but I knew once I came back home, like, I didn't want to work at my job no more. Like, it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't happiness. It was just day to day, just get me back out of that depression, something to get me out the bed and see me start moving. And so once I felt like, okay, I'm now motivated, I can get back into the workforce. I can get back into the workforce, so I could transition jobs. I felt ready. I felt comfortable, and so, of course, prayed to God, like, God, like, transition me to the next thing for me. And so, by God's glory, like, it literally went like, I went on vacation for my birthday. My birthday, May 15th. I went on vacation, came back home. An employer that I applied for back in January when I was going through my breakdown, the employer, oh, cool, thumbs up, yeah. The employer I was working with during January, I'm saying, I'm praying, like, God, like, I want to lead them. So I interviewed with this company, And I got a job with the company, but they ain't offered me the job until like the end of May after I came back from my vacation. And so I felt great. And so I came back from vacation. I think I posted maybe on like Facebook or something like, I want to do a poem. I want to do a poem tonight. Where an open mic at? Like, found the open mic. I hadn't did. I had some writings down, but I hadn't performed in maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years at the time. And so I'm like, I just want to do a small open mic. I just want to perform. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say my piece. Got up there, performed, and literally like it was just all of the sequence of events all in the same day. Like, I lost my job. I found the open mic, and God blessed me with the email for a job offer. And so it was just like, at that point, it really kept for like, all right, I'm on the right path. Like, I'm doing the right things. And I am finding my inner peace. And I'm working towards it, but I need, that reassurance that I want to have to do it. And so I started finding my inner peace. Start working that job. Like, I'm really good. I have great work ethic. And so, like, I started learning that job. They were really glad, like, proud of me and, like, really encouraging me, like, performance-wise. But, again, the medicine, it played a role. Like, now that I know for sure that it's the medicine played a role in a lot of, like, my combativeness and, like, just my responses and stuff. And so, the medicine definitely played a terrible part in my workplace. Just me personally, but that trickled over into my workplace environment, and so it hindered me in different ways. And I would be spazzing out on managers and coworkers. It don't matter. Like, I trip out. Like, you said what? Say something wrong. Say something. Catch me on the right day. Say the wrong thing on the right day. Oh yeah, I got some shit for you. And so with that, it's just like I had to. Either that, I had to chill. I was gonna be fired, flat out. Like, they don't give a fuck about corporate. Don't give a fuck about you being medical. They don't give a fuck about you being on medicine. They don't give a fuck about side effects. And so it's just like, nigga, you agreed you can do this job. Then come to work and do this job. So I had to find a way to like not be that person, but I also get that held against me. And I give people grace and companies grace, like, because they're like the management is important people too. So I give management and I give, like, just friends grace because I know I'm an asshole. I'm naturally an asshole. And so with medicine that fucks with my mood, it's going to make it worse. And I put a lot of people through a lot of unforgivable things. And, like, for even people that still support me today, it's the blessing of God. It's God genuinely, just because ain't no reason why I should have anybody that support me today the way I treated people in my past, like, just in the past 10 years. Like, it ain't even like just my whole past. Right, but yeah, like, I am a good person, but like the medication, and you can't blame everything on medicine, but it plays its role. I take 6 pills a day. It plays its role. And so, 21, started with this new job, felt great, felt energetic about it, loved it, enthused about it. And 22 came around, still working a job, doing great. Had a couple bumps in the road. Like I said, it's never like 100% good days, because even a healthy person not on medication don't have 100% good days. So, you know what I'm saying? But I was operating like a non-disabled human. You feel me? And so, December of 22 came. That shit fucked me. It was Christmas. Christmas had just passed. And so it's the 25th, so that's the 26th. Okay, cool. So December 26th, I come in, and I had the day off. And so I'm chilling with my family. Day after Christmas, laying around the house like most of us do. Skin folks do. Chilling, picking up trash or whatnot. And went to go lay down around 2 o'clock. Just like, let me get a little nap in. And I dead ass woke up like my head was hurting. So I'm just like rubbing my head, the back of my neck. Like, this joint hurt. Like, I can't figure it out. And so, like, trying not to wake up the whole time. Trying not to wake up. Dog, I went to sleep. I woke up. And I'm like, okay, that shit hurt. Let me try to get up out this bed. I stood up. Like, I tried to, like, put my legs off the bed to hang them off. and my legs was like wobbly and stuff like the damn cartoon characters. I always think of Popeye when I'm explaining the what's her name? I can't think of his shorty's name. But whoever Popeye shorty who had the wobbly ass legs, like that's how my legs was, and I barely made it. And like at the time we were living in like a split, and so I had to go up like maybe 6 or 7 stairs to get help because I couldn't speak. I couldn't verbalize nothing. I couldn't speak. And I didn't have the strength to do anything else, not bang on nothing. All I had the strength to do was just walk up the steps. Like, and I didn't even have the strength to do that. I'm leaning up against the wall in the house, like literally picking up my leg, picking up my arm, and like just moving, trying to get up the steps. I got up to the top and then just passed out on the floor, just like laid down on the floor, like fell out on the floor. And my mom just like, I mean, because like, medically speaking, I can't live with myself. I can't live solely by myself. I can't live alone. And that's a whole nother thing. Like, I'll probably talk about that next week. I can't live by myself. So my mom was there and she like, Ty, you good? Like, and she took my arm, put that shit up, and it just dropped. She's just like, boom. Call the paramedics, call the police. Police pull up, you know what I'm saying, check my vitals and whatnot. I'm still limp on the left side. But I mean, I've seen the stroke commercials, but I didn't know that I would experience that. And I thought, like, the doctors keep telling me, like, I'm pretty young. So, like, strokes are for, like, older people, like, 45 plus type vibe. And so, like, whatever, cool. And so, I just didn't, I didn't know I had a stroke. And they, the paramedics, you know what I'm saying, checked my vitals and whatnot, told them I was epileptic, told them what medicines I take. I didn't, but my family did. They put me out on the, you know what I'm saying, the stretcher, and then they took me outside, and they talking about, oh, I mean, she might have been having side effects from this. She might have had a seizure, and this would be like side effects. Whole time, I'm talking shit to them. My sister said that I wasn't really saying stuff loud enough, like she could see my mouth trying to move, but when I was trying to vocalize stuff, I wasn't saying anything. So in my mind, we're outside with the paramedics, me and the paramedics. And I told them, like, take me back in the house. If y'all think this is a seizure, take me back in the house. Like, I already know how to handle a seizure. Like, I'm good there. So take me back in. My sister, like, nah, sis. Like, you weren't that verbal. You couldn't speak that well. Like, you couldn't talk. And we couldn't hear you when you were trying to talk. So if you were talking to them paramedics, boy, they didn't hear you. I'm like, that's fried, because they were ignoring the hell out of me too. Like, they were not looking at me. Like, it was definitely giving movie scene vibes. Like, am I dead? And so, like, they just was chopping it up, and then cool, they put me in the paramedic, they took me in the ambulance, took me to the tank, took me to the hospital, and got me in the hospital quick as hell. So at that point, I knew something was wrong, right? Because they got doctors on me, and they didn't even have me in a room. They had me out on a gurney in a hallway. And it wasn't just like regular vital machines, blood pressure cuffs, you know what I'm saying, BPMs and stuff like that. Nah, they had real equipment hooked up to me, and so I'm like, something really wrong. And like less than an hour later, shorty came back and was like, you had a stroke. Real concerned. Like, uncertain on how to tell me. So I think I'm gonna end it here soon in a little bit, because it is a little raining, and I don't want to get too past the stroke, because that was something that really like impacted me a lot. Like, I even am surprised that today I'm even saying this here now, that because I wasn't even able to verbalize the fact that you had a stroke, bro. Like, not a tear, not a mild stroke, not a little stroke, no, you had a stroke. Multiple lesions on my brain remaining. And so it's just like, that played a significant role as well on how I start approaching life and how I start moving forward, just because like, that's life changing too. And then that's when I really start telling me like I shouldn't be here. So yeah. Yeah, man, my life and my story has been a lot, just because it's like a lot of shit. Like, I didn't know, like I said, like a lot of doctors tell me that I shouldn't have made it. And then a lot of, not just the doctors tell me I shouldn't have made it, but my therapist tells me that, like, you know what I'm saying, I've been through some stuff that, where it's understanding how protective I am, or how closed off, how shut off I am, and not able, like, I'm not comfortable with being vulnerable. And so I don't know what just happened to this chair, but some weird shit just happened. But yeah, so the stroke really brought back a lot. I haven't had another convulsion since then, but I am gonna stop here because it has been down. I don't even know, it's been like 30 minutes. Because it's been 30 minutes and it's about to start raining out here. And like I said, I want to go hang out with my family and whatnot. But follow me on TikTok, because I'm keeping a little thread of the story there. Watched it for 30 minutes, 25 minutes. I don't know how long we've been on here. But I do appreciate y'all for joining me. And I'm going to hop back on next week. I got probably, like I said, 1 or 2 more recordings. And then we're going to be all caught up with my life and my story. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for listening. Yeah, I'm saying, book with the sweet boost, because we out here. But yeah, check me out. You know what I'm saying? I'll be posting on my IG story when I'm going to do this live. And then I keep it on my page just so, because you might need motivation. You might know somebody going through this stroke, epilepsy, whatever you experience. Somebody else experienced it too. So love y'all. Be blessed. Have a wonderful Sunday.